We want to get you updated on the recovery operation at the site of the Baltimore bridge collapse. Joining me now, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. I watched the briefing that you just participated in at the White House, and a big question you raised is whether any change in design of that bridge might have made a difference. I wonder what you can say to Americans now who are worried that a ship, even one of that size and weight, could take out an entire bridge.
Well, this was an extremely unusual and really unique circumstance. You had a vessel the size of the Chrysler Building directly impact this critical bridge. I don't know, I haven't seen any indications that this bridge or any bridge could have withstood that, but that's part of what we're going to learn from the NTSB's investigation. And of course, they're looking at everything from what was going on with the ship, the people aboard the ship, anything and everything you can think of. By design, that's independent from our department, but we're going to take lessons from what they find and incorporate that into our policies for the future, just as we do anytime they respond to anything from an aviation incident to something that happens on our roadways.
Let me take you back to the short term then, Mr. Secretary. You did acknowledge that the Maryland Department of Transportation has already requested funds. What could that money be used for, and how quickly could you get it to the state? And finally, how do you decide how much money they get?
So President Biden's directed the entire administration, including me and our department, to get every resource possible to Maryland to support Governor Wes Moore and his team as they're working to both reopen the port and rebuild the bridge. And that's what we're doing. That means that we're going to use tools like what is called quick release, which is a way to front load some of the dollars that go out through our emergency relief program, even as we're waiting for more estimates and more information about what will be needed for the long term. It is too soon to know the total of what is going to be implicated here, but these tools have been used in the past to a really extensive degree. And I'll give you one example. After the Minnesota bridge collapse of I-35W in 2007, about $260 million went into getting that bridge back up through these emergency relief authorities. Again, we need to be here to support the state as they're doing their work, and that's what we're going to do, not just with the tools of our Department of Transportation, but with every tool in the federal government.
So could this money potentially be used to help workers who are now out of a job? You mentioned that the port being closed is costing, what, $2 million in wages every day for people whose work is tied to the port.
So this funding is generally authorized for infrastructure, although I have seen it used to reimburse local law enforcement for costs that have come up with traffic diversions and other needs like that. I have not seen any eligibilities out of this particular program, but we're still reviewing that. That would apply in this case. There may be other programming and other funds as well. I spoke to the union president yesterday, certainly concerned about making sure that those workers at that local are going to be supported. Obviously, they've done nothing wrong. They're hard workers, and these longshore workers, you know, even in the darkest days of COVID, obviously remote work was not an option for them. They are the backbone of our supply chain. They have been there day in, day out, and we need to do everything we can think of to support them. I know that the Department of Labor is tracking this. I know Governor Moore is focused on this, and we will use every tool that we can think of and that we can find to help them.
Yeah, and so it won't surprise you that a reporter on the scene who we spoke with right after your briefing said that as he was talking to people in the area of the port, that was the number one thing they said. How quickly can this port get up and running? This is our life. This is our livelihood. You said that it is your goal, it is the administration's goal to get this port reopened as soon as is safely possible. What needs to happen to get that done?
Well, the channel that is blocked by the ship and the remains of the Francis Scott Key Bridge is the main channel, really the only channel to get to the majority of the Port of Baltimore. There are a few facilities that are outside of the bridge at a location called Sparrows Point and a facility called Trade Point. We're engaging them to see how much they might be able to step up, even on a temporary basis, if that could play any role that would make a difference here. But at the end of the day, what has to happen is we need to see all of that debris removed and see that certification come from the Coast Guard that it is safe to operate vessels in and out of that channel. The Army Corps of Engineers will be working with the U.S. Coast Guard to get that done. I have not yet seen a time frame on what that would take, but everybody understands the urgency of that, and that's certainly something that the president reinforced when the vice commandant of the Coast Guard and I were in with him just a little while ago this afternoon.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.